Well, guys, we're at base camp and it's time to make some changes. Let's unlock it, take everything out. Here we go again. Hello, adventurers, and welcome back to my channel. Now, if you've been following along for quite some time, you already know that my name is Bunny and this is my 2020 NV200 Dimples. Now, we have been traveling across the country for about 2 years now, and along the way, I have made a lot of changes inside. More recently, I took out my front passenger seat to open up a little bit more space because I needed a little bit of room for something I'll be sharing very soon here on the channel. Not to mention, I thought it would be nice to just kind of like work on the flow of the van so that in a case where I do need to get into the back, I could safely do so without having something kind of in the way. Now, that was a great idea and I absolutely loved it, but that's leading me to today's project. Today, we're flipping the van. Now, when I say today, I mean over the next few days because it is hot in Texas and there's no way that I can get this all done in one day because it's just that kind of hot. So you're coming with me on this journey to empty out the van and also to change the layout of the bed and also my shelf. Now, this is something that is going to take some time, but like all projects, I am willing to put that time in because it simply makes sense. And I'm hoping that by doing this series where I'm showing you all the different phases, that if you're interested in a project like this makes it a little bit more accessible to you because you can see kind of how I've done it. Now, I didn't do all this at once. I took out the seat, I let it kind of hang out for a little while to make sure I liked it first, and then after I decided I did, then I decided to go ahead and make this big change. You don't have to work in any specific order whenever you're doing van life. There is no one way to van life. So with that said, let's get to unloading this van. Oh, this is gonna be a hard one, guys. This is gonna be a hard one. Like, really though, am I ever going to stop moving things in my van? Probably not, but this is gonna be a big change, and I literally just threw everything into the van because I knew I was doing this, so I didn't even fold up my rug. But that's okay because we're about to strip off the bedding, do some laundry, and start this big move. And when I say everything, I mean everything. We're going to clean out the entire back end of the van because we are switching everything over. Now, I talked about this whenever I removed my seat before I left out on my last trip, that if I liked this, I would flip my van. Well, guess what, guys? The day is here where we flip the van. I never thought this day would happen, but it's here, and it starts with doing some laundry. Okay, we're starting off with our smaller ones, and we will work our way up to our larger blankets. Yep, this is part of the task of getting the van ready. Well, guys, here's the progress so far. This has been so hot out here in Texas doing this, so I went ahead and took off all of my bedding. I washed it. I took the mattress and I took it into base camp. And also, I've just been kind of moving things around, throwing them on top of this platform here. But in a minute, I'm going to have to take it out also. I went ahead and moved my refrigerator to the front so it's in a safe spot. It is going to have to be cleaned up a little bit though because it's got some sticky stuff on the top of it now that I took the cover off. So I'll be doing all that cleaning in a little bit. So the stuff isn't going to move itself. I'm just going to start picking things up, setting them up here, and making a way so that I can put everything inside base camp. So I'm just going to take anything that's hanging down and put it on the bed. It'll be easier to carry from here. And also I'll be able to just kind of start clearing this thing out because I am going to have to unhook it from all of these different safety fastens that have secured it thus far. Now, again, we installed this thing and I have been so pleased with it. You'll notice I'm just shaking it and it's not budging. So whenever I reinstall it, I got to get it as tight, but this time I'm doing it by myself. So when we created the table, we offset it because of this pop out. So on this side, it's going to be closer. So the problem with this is when I scoot this over now, I'm going to have to move everything over to offset on this side. And that could be a problem. I'm not sure yet. Now, for all of you who watch fan channels, that's probably just a normal little tiny fix. However, whenever I built this bed platform, my dad actually helped me with it. He has all the tools. He showed me what I was doing. So now it's my turn to take what he showed me and implement it. Oh no, this is gonna be hard. And as you can see, ooh, Oh, we're sweating hard already. So what I'm probably gonna be doing is working on unloading the van tonight, and then in the morning I'll start on some of the bigger things when it's a bit cooler before the sun has hit that full stage of the day. So I'm gonna start working on this, and I'll just get you updated kind of as we go. Now let me also at this time go ahead and mention that by moving everything to the opposite side, this door is now going to be my open out door to this direction. Before, this went under to my garage. My garage will be on the other side now. So this is going to be a huge adjustment. And eventually I'm going to have to also move my awning to this side, but that's not happening today. So before I get too deep into this project, why did I decide to do this? Well, I have been working on finding the perfect way to maximize my tiny van space. I have a 2020 NV200, and for quite some time I've been driving up and down the road. In fact, 2 years. I started out with a no-build van build so that I could kind of move things around as I went and figure out how I felt best and most comfortable in my space. Now, along the way, a lot of things have changed, and as they have, I have adapted piece by piece to adding things, subtracting things, maximizing and minimizing, and now we're finally to what I think, crossing my fingers, is going to be the final organizational step to getting my van how I want it to be. Now, on a previous video, I removed the seat of the NV200 so that I can make a nice open space. I really liked that. And part of the reason why I did that was because I am going to be adding something to my van that needs a little bit of extra room. So now it has it. And that will eventually fit kind of in this section. But for now, I have to get everything, literally everything behind this curtain out so that I can flip everything. So my bed will be over there and my shelf will be over here. Now again, we have a huge mess in here, so just ignore that until we get everything cleaned out. But do you see how this shelf only takes up to about the door? And then I can open the door and have a nice space to get out. Well, that is going to be on this side, believe it or not, at some time in the near future after we get through all this. Now, if you're a person who likes organizing, this is definitely going to appeal to you as we get it all organized. But I think what this video is going to be more so about is the flip of the layout itself. This is going to take some time, and we're going to work through the growing pains together. So today we're going to be moving this shelf to this side, moving the bed to that side, changing the table out so that it will work accordingly. And that's all I can do. Oh my gosh. I'm going to be so tired. This is probably actually going to take me realistically a couple days to do this, again, because of the Texas heat. But you guys are along for the journey. And if you've been along for the journey since the beginning, this will be a fun step because most of you have already been saying you should do that. So here we go. Of course, my magnets I can just pull off and leave like on the door for the time being. I want to make sure I keep up with my Bus Life Pirates, so they're actually going to be moving over to this side of Super Special Magnets because they're some of my friends. Go check out their channel. And then I've got 2 more magnets, well, 3, 4 more magnets, and then we're gonna get to the really hard stuff. Oh look, it's 98 degrees. Yeah, we're doing this, guys. We're doing this. Do I advise that if you're doing something like this, you don't do it on a 98-degree day? Absolutely. Can I avoid it because Texas is Texasing? No. So, hydrating, taking it in tiny doses, and the next thing that you see will be some bigger progress. Okay, here's a little bit of an update. I have been moving very slowly because it is so hot here at base camp, but finally we have gotten to a point where we have revealed these, and I think that means that we can start taking this thing out. In fact, this is how hot it is currently. Yeah, this is super hot still. Now we have some new tools that will be added to the van, but also will be used for this project. I'm not exactly sure what size we're gonna need, but I'm gonna have to cut these all out so that we can get into this package and use them. Now I have no idea what size we're going to need for this, so I'm just gonna try this one, which is the 13. 13 seems to be the magic number in my van so far, so let's see if this works. And we'll start up here. Well, no, it's a little bit loose, I think. So instead, we're going to try out this one. This is the 12. And, yeah, let's see if this one works. Okay, so does this fit? Maybe. Ooh, this is going to work. So we should be able to loosen all of the brackets off of the walls using this. Now, just like in the front seat, after we remove the bolts, I'm going to go ahead and put them back in so they fill the holes, because otherwise that is a hole directly to the outside. Okay, we're making a lot more progress. I went ahead and took down the curtain just because it makes it a little bit easier. I have moved all of the things off the floor, and we have some cleaning to do once we move some things around. I only have one bracket left on this, and this guy right here has pretty much everything out from under it except for a couple small items. So what I'm going to do now is go ahead and move all of my photos and my hats so that whenever I put the shelf up against this wall, it can just go ahead and fit where it's supposed to. Okay, let's get to sweeping. This is all the stuff that has built up under the mat on this trip home, and that's a lot of dust. So I'm going to go ahead and sweep it all out first, and then after, I'm going to go over it and really clean and scrub the floor. Now this part's all going to be under my bed when I'm finished, but still, I want it to be clean. Okay, I'm pulling out the bed platform right now. And as you can see, we're gonna have to make some tweaks on this one too, but we have one more thing to unbolt on the back, and I needed to be able to angle this out just a little bit. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull this the rest of the way out, and then we'll get to move the shelf. It's that guy right there. Okay, a little bit of a different angle while I'm getting a breath. It is so hot out here. But as you can see, this section that was under the bed was nice and protected. That one has been the high traffic area. So by flipping the van, it's going to make sure that the floor wears evenly also. So that's a big good thing. However, we have a lot of scrubbing to do, like a lot of scrubbing. So what I think I'm going to do is go ahead and start over here and then move the shelf and then scrub over there and then put the bed platform back in, if I can. Now, what I mean by if I can is that whenever we installed this, one of the legs was sitting over just a little bit. Now, if this does not fit back in here correctly, I'm going to have to move one of the legs. Another project. And as you can see, this thing is in such disarray right now. We have a lot of work ahead of us. It's just been very hard to work on projects while I've been here in Texas. It's been so hot. Today you saw it was 107. Waiting until the evening time just gives you a brief reprieve. In fact, it's still over 100 degrees. There's just a little bit of a slight breeze right now, which is helping, but I'm only able to work in 15 to 20 minute segments because it is so hot and I am here by myself. We don't want to overheat. No. So, back to work I go, at least for a little while. Now, let's see if we can move this around. Ooh, it's kind of hard. There's still a few things that feel like they're in the way. Oh no. Let's see what we can do. Oh, this thing's pretty heavy. Just trying to get it to turn so I can see if it's gonna line up. Okay, one more push into place. Ooh, it's gonna have to go that way a little bit more. Whew, okay. It's in place. Now I need to take off all this hardware because it's actually kind of backwards. Let's talk about it. Now, originally, whenever I had this shelf installed, my dad helped me with it and did all of this part because he knew that it was going to be very difficult, and at the same time, I was about to get on the road. Now I'm having to repeat the process, and let me tell you, it is much harder, but thank goodness I was paying attention because I know how to do this. Now, knowing how and it going like it's supposed to, totally different stories though. So let me show you what I'm kind of up against right now. So after removing the hardware that was on the other side, I'm putting it onto this side. But because they're a little bit different on the angle and then also the way I have it sitting here, I'm having to figure out exactly how to attach this bottom piece. Now, in a perfect world, this bottom piece will go through here and then this will fly over and then I'll line up a hole. So it looks easy enough, but I'm having some problems with the holes lining up. So I'm gonna have to keep struggling a bit. Now this piece right here, I think I'm gonna tighten it down, but not all the way, so I could kind of move it just a little bit to get the angle correct. But I'm gonna start off by putting the bolt in to this part first, and then I'll be able to section it to here. Now there was a little bolt that went through the floor, and I'm going to be putting the same bolt back in. The only difference is it had a cargo hook previous, and now it will not. Instead, it will have that little piece right here. So I need to get this back into here like that, and then this piece I have to attach here using this guy. Okay, the first one is secure, and now I get to put the big black bolt back in, and whew, it's getting warm again. I've been out here for about 30 minutes trying to figure this out, and again, I've been working in stride. Now this big black bolt is a different size than this, so we're gonna have to change it out real quick, and in order to do that, we just push the button and then pull out, but I need both hands for this. Okay, there's that. And then we're gonna go back in with this. Now this is only one of the 4 securing pieces. So as you can see, this is taking longer than it probably should, but I am doing this by myself. While I'm at it, I'm also gonna go ahead and try to peel this off very carefully and go stick it to the other side. I don't know if this is gonna work, but we're sure gonna try. Okay, I got the other one in, and now it's just time to do the tops. And I'm pretty pleased. I had to reshape the bracket a little bit, but it is intact. So, whew, we're making some progress. Now to remove this bracket, I'm going to have to completely remove everything from the shelf, which I was kind of hoping I wouldn't have to do, but yeah, I'm gonna have to. At this point, I've moved it around so much, it's in such disarray. It's probably for the best anyway, because it's going to all have to be removed to organize. Whew. Let's check the temperature right now though. Oh, it's cold outside. It's 98 degrees. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, it's like basically a whole like Arctic chill. Yeah. Whew. I'm dying. I'm dying, guys. Now, I don't know if I'm gonna get all of this finished tonight. I'll probably end up working on it some more tomorrow, but the days are ticking and I gotta get back on the road very soon. There's one thing that I have learned from all these different projects though, and then I'm gonna get back to work. It's that if you pay attention when somebody teaches you something, you can retain that knowledge, and then you can use that part of your brain whenever it comes time to do another project. For example, this, I watched Dad as he installed this, and then I kind of was like, oh, okay, I can do that. And it's taken some work because it's kind of opposite, but I am doing it. I am doing it. Okay, we're gonna close it up for the night. I went ahead and just put the bed platform back in sideways for the time being. And well, we got a lot to do tomorrow. As much as I would love to finish this project up tonight because the sun is going down and it's getting a little bit cooler, I've been outside for about an hour now and I'm very hot, like super hot, and I think you can see that. So I'm gonna go in and hydrate some more. I have been hydrating throughout because I think that's super important, not only whenever I'm being active out on a trail, but also while I'm doing projects in the heat. So I am about to go take a nice shower, get into some clothes that don't feel like they're soaking wet, and this I'll be back for tomorrow. Okay guys, we're back in the van and I am currently taking down all of my shelving lights, and I'm gonna have to rerun these, but I'm also going to have to rerun all of the lights on the top. And the reason why is because currently my plug is over here. Well, that's where my bed's gonna be now. So I'm gonna retrace all of them so that it drops down on this side right next to a power station. So that's just gonna make the flow of everything a little bit easier, and already, even though it is a mess still, really liking it. Okay, I went ahead and moved everything that was on the other door over to this door because I usually lean up against the door that's on my bedside, so I needed this to not be sticking out. So now it's looking pretty bare over here, but we'll fill this in just a little bit to make it look not quite so crazy. Also, I went ahead and added my Wyoming sticker, and I'm gonna go ahead and probably take these with me so I can add the other states that I visit as I go to them. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this table off, and I've already started on this. This is just a Phillips head screwdriver. There are 4 of these small screws in each one of the 2 brackets. So I'm going to get started, and I'm going to make sure that I keep all these together, probably in this little container just so I don't lose them. So we're going to move that up here, and then under here we go. And I've already started, you can see I took these 2 out, so I'm gonna go ahead and take 2 of these out also. And then we'll go from there. Okay, I got it off, and you can see where the brackets were. Now, in order to move this over, we're gonna have to drill in, and that's gonna take some work. So, once again, guys, been outside for a bit too long. Current temperature, 97 degrees. Current condition of the shelf, looking a lot better than it was. But current condition of me, super hot. Super hot. So I'm gonna go in and hydrate again and then come back out in just a few more minutes. Okay guys, I lucked out because I was working until the point that I was like so hot, and then Dad came home from his vacation. So he is gonna help me with these last couple of projects. Now, right now we are moving the bed leg because the end over here actually has a bump in. And you can see right behind the seat over here, it pops in just a little bit. So that's why we're moving that. Today, we will have the bed itself back in the van. Now, I'm not gonna put the bed actual proper on top of the bed just yet, but I am gonna have that back in here before the end of this video. So, it has been a hot few days to say the least. I just scrubbed the floor a little bit more and made sure that it was nice underneath where the bed's gonna go, and let me show you. So I went over it once. I'm gonna have to go over it one more time, really scrubbing it, just making sure that the floor itself is clean for a nice clean canvas. And that way when the bed is in its place right here, I won't have a whole lot of stuff underneath it that then needs to be cleaned, because one less obstacle, right? So right now we're working on getting that leg where it'll bump in, and then we're going to remount the table, and then I'm gonna wrap up this video. Project videos are always a little weird. So thanks for coming along for moral support, especially toward the beginning of this when I was out here sweating all by myself. Now I'm sweating with help. That's kind of nice. Okay, so effectively what happened before was we found out that there was a bump in. So we had offset this leg, and you could see where we had initially made that move. But now that we're flipping everything, that side actually needs to bump in also. And we're gonna keep both of these bumped in just in case I ever decide to put the bed back on the other side. One less thing. So, Dad right now is making something that's going to make it look exactly like this. So this end will mirror, and this is the side that goes up against the seat. Now, if you are interested in a video about the bed, I have two in my library. Go check them out. One is about the bed platform that was built, and the other one is about cutting the memory foam and making it all work together. So go check those out if you're interested. But I really like this because these legs right here, they actually come off. So if I ever need to break these down and use my van as a cargo van, I can, and the platform folds up to like this big. So that's really nice. Okay guys, so here's the table, and again you can see where it was, but we have marked where it needs to go. So it's gonna have to scoot over to like right here and right here, because this is going to be the outside edge. This is gonna be the edge that is up against the wall, and so that's not gonna work because the bump out on the back end comes out to about here. Okay guys, so the bed is in place and I'm super happy. Now there are a couple of things that I wanted to do that I don't know if I'm gonna do just yet. Now that means a future project possibly, and I was talking to you guys about a project video that I might be doing, but whenever I started really looking at what I have going on, I think that I might pull back on that for just a minute. Now let me show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so as you know, my refrigerator used to sit behind my driver's seat, and then my bed was on this side, and it fit in perfect place and actually held itself because of the tightness of the squeeze over there. And that was great. But there is no seat on this side, and the whole purpose of opening up this space was to keep it open. So as you see right now, the refrigerator is sitting here, which is where it would have been sitting over there, kind of just flopped. Now, clearly this is going to be in the way of keeping this open. So my idea was to take the refrigerator and put it under the bed like that. Now, I thought this was a great idea because notice I can still get plenty of ventilation to all of the vents. The plug is right here, so it can easily access a power station or be plugged into my van, which is awesome. But there's a few little things about putting it right here. Again, I love the positioning. It's great. This is going to stow it away. It's going to completely change the way I have to store things under the bed. So I'm going to have to organize a lot, but that's okay. But one of the things that I was looking at doing was potentially putting a slide under the bed so I could just have a drawer that would slide out. And that's a great idea, except one thing. See how close that is to the top, which means that we have a very small margin of error for building something that it will sit on. And some of those different drawers, although they are absolutely amazing, stick up a bit. So I don't know if I want to do that just yet, because that would mean I likely would have to raise my bed a little bit more. That's life. When you start on one project, it becomes another project, becomes another project. Well, translate that into a van. Same thing. So I think I'm going to make a judgment call right now. I think instead of putting it on a slide for the time being, I am instead going to just put it in its place and see if I like it. If I like it, then when next time I circle back to base camp, which will be kind of far down the line, then I can work on a project where I either create a slide that will work or I raise the bed. Now, that will have a couple of other issues pop up. If I raise the bed too much, I'm going to be right at my ceiling because I am bougie and wanted the really big, fluffy, good mattress because of my back. Oh my goodness. So many things. Oh, just to do one thing, you have to do 5 things. That's just kind of how van life works. That's why whenever I talk to you guys and say, don't build everything all at first, because when you do, something's gonna change the way you view it, and then you're gonna end up having to go through all of these growing pains because everything is built around that. At least with me, because I have done things kind of in little pieces, if there's one thing that changes, it doesn't affect everything in the van. Now, today's video was a much larger project, but it has come after a lot of trial and error of finding out what exactly that I want to make me comfortable. So with that said, I think we're just gonna kind of use this right here and figure out the bottom side of the bed. I have a lot of work ahead of me and I'm gonna be sharing all of that on an upcoming video, but let's see what the progress is so far. Again, we took out the seat, so we have all of this open. It doesn't look open right now, but it will be. We have this nice open space that will go from the front to the back. And now I will be using my passenger side door as my main entry point. Whenever you open up into this area, you will see my bed right here. And then I will have my shelf on this side right here. Now, if you are still watching this video and kind of scratching your head going, but why? But why was all this necessary? Well, from my front seat to my back seat, I didn't have a clear path. I was having to still crawl over my bed, and I wanted to make it a little bit safer. So this is a safety thing, but also this is going to come in handy in a lot of other situations. For example, I have something I will be putting in the van that you will see on a very, very close episode. And it'll all make sense as to why I needed this open aisle just a little bit. I'm excited. I'm super, super excited. But from the back, you can see the floor plan works either way with just a few minor adjustments. In fact, to flip this, we just had to move it from side to side and then make some adjustments with the brackets because they're now on the opposite side. And then of course on the bed, we took in this leg. So now both of these end legs are sitting in just a little bit, so I can always change out the layout how I would like. Other than that, we took this, and as you can see, I have some touch-up paint to do, but we were able to rotate it over just a little bit. And because of that, I now have a table, which again, is accessible from the outside. Now, a lot of people have asked why I chose this layout for the table. It's because my doors create a little bit of a wind block. So whenever I'm cooking, I can just put up my little windscreen, put my kitchen right here, and then also have the doors helping me out. Now, of course, if you go all the way back into my library of van videos, you will see that I started off with a no-build van build, and I have just kind of added things as I have gone. Now, the nice thing about doing it this way is I've been able to make these changes so that they could be utilized in a variety of different ways. For example, this shelf could be on either side. We love that. We don't have to buy two shelves that way. Same thing with the bed. With only a couple small tweaks, it's now on the other side, no problem. Now remember guys, if you are looking to do a van build of any kind, patience is your best friend. It's super hard, especially on the hot days, to get really super excited about being outside in basically like a tin can while the sun's beating down. But at the same time, if you're willing to be patient, you can have some great things happen. And for me, my biggest accomplishment of this video was moving that thing on my own. I feel so good. And I'm never going to be upset when someone offers to help me, because I was sweltering in the heat, guys. Now, I do have a few other projects that I'll be sharing with you before I leave base camp, so make sure you check out those future episodes, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!